Hey guys, how you going? My name is Dom, and in today's video we're going to be having a look at the spread syntax in JavaScript when it comes to objects. Okay, so this right here can actually achieve two separate things. Okay, so we're going to be covering both of these things in today's video. The first one is going to be you're able to create copies of objects with updated values. So this works in a very similar way to the object.assign method. So really you can probably replace many of your object assign calls with the object spread syntax. So that is the main thing which you're probably going to be using this syntax for. The second one is going to be you're able to essentially collect remaining properties or keys when combining this with object destructuring. Okay, so we're going to be having a look at that one also, but I do want to mention real quickly that this right here has decent support in modern browsers, including Node.js 8 and above, but you probably still want to use Babel if you want to support more browsers than, of course, the current. Okay, so you want to use this Babel plugin right here. I'll leave a link to this in the description below, but essentially you want to use this if you want support for older browsers. But let's go back inside here and take a look at the code. So let's first have a look at this first dot point right here. So inside the text editor, we're going to be defining a new object called user. Okay, so const user equal to a new object, and we can say right here a name of Dom, and also an age of, let's just make Dom 30 years old. Okay, so now to create a copy, and that is a shallow copy of this object, is quite straightforward. We can simply say down here, const copied is equal to, and then we can say right here, using the object literal, we can put 3 dots, then specify user. Okay, then we can say right here, age of, let's just do 60, and then we can say, for example, occupation of web developer. So this right here is using the spread syntax right here, and essentially it's going to replace the age of 30 with 60 as specified right here. Okay, and then it's going to add the occupation property with a value of web developer. So that is essentially how to use the object spread syntax when it comes to creating a copy of your objects. So you may notice that, of course, this right here shares a similar outcome to what object assign does, but I just want to console.log copied right there. I'm going to save this and then refresh the browser, and you can see right here we get right here an age of 60. It's been updated from 30. The same name and a new property right here, occupation web developer. So that's working perfectly fine. Now comparing that right there to object assign, it might look like this. So I'll make a new copy right here, call this copied number 2, this time using object assign. So we can say object.assign right here, then specify our empty object. Then we can say essentially just copied, and then we can say down here the age of 60 and occupation of web developer. So right here we're going to achieve the same results, but of course this right here is a lot longer and potentially more difficult to read. Of course that is subjective, but that's just the alternative. So now if I was to log out both of those, save this and refresh, this time we should see now we get, of course, 2 results, and they are both the exact same. So that is the comparison right there. Okay, now what about this second dot point right here on collecting remaining keys? So for this we need to use object destructuring. So if you're not too sure what object destructuring is, I do have a video on that topic, but let's go inside here and take advantage of object destructuring. So let's remove this second copied version, and then we can start to use object destructuring to essentially take these properties right here into their own separate constants or variables. So we can say right here const, and I can say using the curly braces, I can say name age, and then I'm going to use the spread syntax right here, dot dot dot, then I'm going to say other, okay? Then I can say right here is equal to copied, just like that. So now it's going to extract the name and the age properties from the object, okay, so of course DOM and 60, and place them inside their respective constants, okay? And then using the spread syntax right here with other, this is going to collect the remaining properties that were not specified inside these two right here. So essentially it's going to be an object containing occupation. So if I was to now console.log, then I can say, let's do name, then log out the age, and then lastly, log out the other. Okay, so now if I was to save this and refresh, we can see here, we get the name, the age, and then lastly, we get the object containing the property of occupation. Okay, so that is basically how it works. It has collected the remaining properties which I did not specify inside the list right here. If I was to go down here and then I say just name, this time of course other is going to contain both age and occupation. So let's save this and refresh. We can see here we get age and occupation right there. Okay, now that is how that works. So that, those are the two features of your object spread. Now, one last thing to mention is that, of course, when you're creating your objects, these are going to be shallow copies. Okay, so to demonstrate that, for those of you who are unaware, let's go back inside here real quick, and we're going to remove the last few lines, but let's go inside here now, and we're going to specify a property here. Let's just do scores. Okay, so let's pretend this right here is like scores for university or education. So we can say here, for example, let's just do 90 and 85 as your exam scores, for example. Now, I might just actually, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I'll just save this right here. So we have user and copied. Let's save this and refresh, and we can see now if I was to output copied, we of course get the scores right there. Now, if I was to now say copied, then dot scores, and we can now say for the array, let's do dot push. We can add, for example, 70 onto that array. That works perfectly fine. We now have, of course, copied, and we have those 3 entries right there, including 70. But now the user is still going to have the same array specified on the object. So right here, this is, of course, shallow copying. We did not deep copy the array. So, of course, these two objects, copied and user, are pointing to the exact same array. So, of course, that is a shallow copy. But that is using the object spread syntax in JavaScript. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.